Hello, good evening.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are things going?
Another day, another half dollar,
Oh,
unless it's
there we go.
silver, and then it's up.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Episode one, how you feeling?
Feeling good, feeling
Feeling
good.
good?
This is, obviously a new adventure for us, but I'm excited to be here and rock it out.
I think it's gonna be fun. Well, for those that don't know, hello and welcome to the very first episode of the Ultimate Buffet
The
podcast.
Ultimate Buffet Podcast.
That's what it says, right?
Yeah,
Right, right here. Okay, yeah, on a piece of paper.
yep.
My name's Chris,
My
and
name's Sean.
there's my co-host Sean right there. Uh, we're gonna be talking to you this evening, telling you a little bit about ourselves. But first, before we get any further here, uh, tonight's drink. Cheers.
Cheers. What are we drinking tonight, Chris?
So tonight is some Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style.
Ooh,
Yeah. Proof 115.
okay.
So we got to celebrate, first episode, first bottle. So
No, this is good. And just for everyone listening, we are going to be doing a different whiskey and or scotch every week.
that's the goal.
Okay.
Goal is, for those that don't know, is to broadcast every week, do an episode, make it simple. We're going to go 20, 30 minutes, drive to work, drive home, work out, just a normal everyday life, talking about normal day stuff from different points of view.
That sounds good to me. Hey, and for everyone listening, just FYI, if we don't post every week, we are two normal guys with a family, with jobs.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough to do it every week, but we're dedicated for all the listeners and whatnot. So we're here for you.
So perfect. You want to go into a
Yeah.
little
Yeah,
little
so
bit
let's
here?
first and foremost, I do want to thank all the listeners and most importantly our family for allowing us to start this new little fun journey that we've been talking about for the last couple weeks, and we do appreciate your support. Um, Today's episode, we are going to talk a little bit about why we started this podcast and came up with just this idea of two random guys starting a conversation, banter back and forth.
Yeah, that works. So, well, why don't we just jump right into it? Why don't we, lead right up into the families? Sean, you wanna
Yeah,
start that?
yeah, definitely. So, my name is Sean, and I am married. Got married in 2014, and currently we have two and a half kids. The half kid is one on the way, due in April. So with the two kids, we've got a 5.5 year old now, and then we have a 2.5 year old going on, I'd at least say 19. She definitely has the attitude of her mother and her grandmother, respectfully. But yeah, it's definitely a strong domain that she has.
Well, she has big shoes to fill.
Yeah, she definitely does have big shoes to fill. So yeah, so just a family guy. Like I said, married, two kids. We live in Placer County, California, and we yeah, we're pretty simple, plain Jane, normal type of family. Got a house, no white picket fence, unfortunately. The front yard's too small, and if you live in Placer County, you definitely understand that because there's not much property to go around.
That's correct.
Um, yeah, so I've known Chris. Let's see, gosh, it's been since 2002.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I met your sister in high school,
Yep.
and then met you eventually, and it's been it's been good. We've been friends ever since, and long story short, you actually were my boss at a previous role.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, back in the day, Chris used to manage myself, which I'm sure was more than difficult at times. But we're here. We're here. Let's cheers to that.
Yeah.
Let's
Cheers.
cheers to being friends and gosh, that stuff's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so just a good old family man, and let you kind of take it over from here, Chris.
Well, the great thing is nothing's changed. I'm still managing at this moment.
This is true. Let me hold on before you hop in there. Yeah, so Chris is definitely the technical side of things. I bring
I don't know anything about computers.
you know more than anybody about computers, and if someone says, "Hey, I sent you an email," and I say, "Hey, do I have to open the mailbox for that?" I'm not sure. I don't. I mean, I can barely turn the thing on. But yeah, so yeah, Chris is definitely the backbone of this, and we would not be here if it wasn't for him. So I do appreciate your manager skills back in the day, and currently. So I'll let you go and run with it from there.
It's not hard with you around. So about me, let me
You've
take
got
a
to be
look here.
so annoying with the paperwork. I
Well,
just
I
can't.
gotta get a little bit in there.
Management,
No,
being annoying.
I don't
Okay, all
even
right,
know.
sorry.
Yeah.
Go.
So I have also been married since 2017. Happily married. One kid. Hopefully we'll have another one here coming soon.
Yep.
She will be almost 2, which is crazy because she looks like she's probably a 5-year-old at this point.
She's almost as big as my 5-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. So 99 percentile there, which doesn't surprise me at all since I'm 6'5".
6, 7.5. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So not your normal typical size person. But same as Sean, I live in Placer County. Thoroughly love, just being a dad, being a husband. For me, I love cooking. I love just everything, spending time with my daughter, just everything that surrounds being a family person. Absolutely love. Obviously have a job, have to go to work, have to do all that. But I have to say, it's definitely family is probably the one thing that I know that I've always wanted to have.
Ooh, that's
So
good. That's deep.
yeah.
I like it.
So, and having a wife that's so supportive, so helpful is so nice to have. But it's also nice, to have the family behind as well. So, she has great parents. My mom is fantastic. I have fantastic sister, fantastic brother-in-laws. So everyone's like so like helpful and all that. And I like having that close knit family. That's a big thing for me.
That's big, Chris. Yeah.
So
No, I'm complete opposite. I do not have a lot of family locally. So, having someone like Chris and his family has definitely made my adulthood a little bit easier, even though, he's still my manager and we don't work together, which is a whole other story. But yeah, no, it's good. I
well,
agree
the
with it.
great thing is we're doing this right now upstairs, and our families are literally downstairs. We just had dinner.
Yeah.
Obviously having a little whiskey, which you look a little low there. So
Okay. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
There.
You mentioned dinner, and the one thing that we did not do prior to coming up here and doing this podcast was the fact that we didn't do the dishes.
Yeah.
I know that we said we would do it after, but I don't know the way that you're pouring this this old Forester. I don't know if we're gonna get those dishes done.
Well, I think what's going to happen is most likely after this podcast, after we're done recording, we'll go downstairs. You'll probably, head back home because you got to put the kids to sleep.
Yep.
I'll put the kids to sleep, probably have another glass.
Yeah.
And then I'll do the dishes.
Okay. All right. Well,
So
there you go. Hey, cheers to dishes.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. I like it.
So.
That's good.
Oh, was that too loud? I apologize.
No. I mean, yeah, it was loud, but, just in my ears, hopefully not theirs.
So, what did we say? Phones off.
We did say phones
Oh,
off.
gosh.
I apologize for that, everybody. So one of the things we did want to hop into was hobbies and free time. Obviously this podcast is getting to know us, and hopefully you guys would enjoy what we've got to say. Let's just kind of go back and forth. Let's go one for one. Hobbies.
Okay.
What's your number one hobby?
Gosh. So I would say right now, thoroughly enjoying since the weather has been good. Obviously a little hot here in Placer County, California, but I have definitely gotten more into it. is mountain biking. So,
Okay.
so I've enjoyed the mountain biking because you get outdoors. I love being outdoors. So
Yep. I agree with that.
hands down, being outdoors is the best. But I really enjoyed the mountain biking because both my father-in-law and my brother-in-law, and soon to be sister-in-law, all mountain bike, right? So I liked getting the mountain bike because I can spend time with them.
Okay.
So it gives me, not only do I like spending time obviously with my wife and daughter,
Yeah.
but and with my mom, my sister, but I enjoy spending time with my in-laws.
Okay.
And so that gives me a time to spend with them and go that. The problem is I'm not very good at it. So I have this
Okay.
fat bruise on my leg still.
Okay.
Thank goodness my face is healing,
Starting to heal.
starting to heal a
Okay,
little
good.
bit, because that was what, 3 weeks ago I fell flat on my face. 2 weeks ago I slid down gravel. Last week I didn't fall though, so that's a
Well,
win.
that is definitely a win.
But I probably just jinxed myself for tomorrow.
I mean, if you're going tomorrow, I would probably not go.
Well, I have a full face helmet now. We're good.
Well, okay, then game on.
Yeah, I had to spend the investment. Had to.
Send it.
Yeah. and that wasn't an Amazon purchase.
Okay.
So I actually bought that at a store.
Just real quick, Chris, we don't have a bullet point for obsessions, and one of the obsessions that Chris has is Amazon. And anybody that watches this is definitely, if they know or don't know Chris, now you will know. Chris has an addiction to Amazon, and
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an AA for it, and actually that would make sense. Amazon
Wonder
Anonymous.
wonder if I should show up to an AA meeting and say I have an Amazon addiction.
I
Wonder how
mean,
that would
addictions
go.
are addiction, Chris. I support you as a friend and a close family member. At this point, I would support you, but I'm not going to give you any type of digital gift card ever again.
How do you think they would feel though if I showed up with a bottle of Old Forester to
That
a
would
AA meeting?
that would probably not be a good idea, in
Okay.
my honest opinion.
Which I take.
All right, so
So-
let's so hobby for me, I would have to say my number one hobby besides being with family and whatnot is hunting. I mean, anything that walks, flies, I definitely agree with the farm to fork statement. And yeah, I'm a big hunter. I've had a duck club out in Willows, California, which is a little southwest of Redding. And yeah, I'd say waterfowl and upland game bird is definitely my hobby. The whole farm to fork thing I think has always been a big thing here in California, but definitely over the last 10 years, since I've kind of gotten into it, it's been one of those things that you go out, you shoot, kill, bow and arrow, whatever type of ammunition you want to use is taking and putting your dinner on the stove, whether it be a cast iron or a crock pot. Yeah, it's definitely a farm to fork thing. So I would definitely say hunting is my thing. I've always wanted to get into fishing, which I know you and I have talked about.
Yep.
I definitely want to do some type of deep sea fishing is actually where I know going above and beyond here with instead of throwing a cast into a creek would be something that I would want to do.
Literally jumping straight into the deep end.
Yeah, that's full bore going balls deep.
And I agree. I think, I've done some fishing in the past and enjoy fishing and all that, but I've never done deep sea fishing. And I think deep sea fishing would be a lot of fun, but I would love to go fishing for tuna, not only for the struggle, because that's going to be a fight the whole way.
Yep.
But usually you go in like shark infested waters.
Yep.
And I think
Okay.
that'd be fun.
Well, obviously we want to take this podcast to the next level and video and live streams and whatnot. So I think that may be something that we would have to incorporate into this.
Absolutely. So is this where we say if you want to sponsor the podcast, go
Yeah.
ahead and
I mean,
send us an email at the ultimate buffet podcast at gmail.com.
I think that would be a appropriate.
Shameless plug right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's shameless and definitely a plug. plug at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's definitely get that on the books. I think I don't know when the best time to go deep sea fishing is, but that's something that we can look into, and I would definitely want to get that on the calendar for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and for everyone that knows, obviously, you and I have talked for a while about this whole podcast and starting it, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But I think one of the things that we have talked about is wanting to do video. I think we definitely want to get to the side where we're videoing us doing this podcast. Our main source right now is YouTube.
Yep.
So YouTube's video. So I
Yeah.
apologize if you're listening right now on YouTube because it's just going to be a picture. But the goal is to have a video and record us.
Yeah.
We got to work on a backdrop here, and
Yep.
there's some things working. But I think we wanted to start talking first, and getting some content out there so we can really grow and develop and just have normal conversations.
I think the one thing I'm actually excited about tonight, in regards to not having a video, is we're actually wearing the exact same matching Crocs,
Yeah.
and it was not planned.
No.
But yeah, so I'm actually glad we don't have video because you guys would, I would assume, comment, and there'd be a lot of negative comments on our matching Crocs. But hey, you know what? We're comfy. We're sitting in our chairs talking,
Drinking.
drinking. Cheers. And I'm glad we started this one out just audio because we do
yeah.
have definitely matching Crocs on today.
Well, maybe that's our gig.
Maybe that's our thing. That could
Maybe.
be our shtick.
Yeah.
We wear matching Crocs.
But the question is, do we go just regular or do we go 4-wheel drive?
So I'm definitely a regular type of guy when it comes to the Crocs. 4-wheel drive, if we're going to soccer practice, as we mentioned, we have kids. If we're going to soccer practice, if we're going to the mall because we have daughters that act 19, or if I'm going to walk to the mailbox, I'm going regular. There's no need to go 4-wheel drive to go to the mailbox.
No, unless you're running,
which I wouldn't do.
No.
I have running shoes. I don't run, but
Yeah.
I have running shoes.
I have really nice running shoes too, and I don't run either.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, at least we're on the same page with that then.
Well, I did run. When I went to training a little bit ago?
Yeah.
I had to do some running there, but
yeah.
Well, that was well over a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, and
yeah.
I make runs to the liquor store.
Yeah. Well, the same thing, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's all how you look at it. It's a play on words at that point. Let's hop into why did we want to start this podcast?
Okay, we can do that. So, I think for both of us, we listen to a lot of podcasts. We
Yep.
listen to a lot of, just people talk. I listen to a ton of audiobooks.
I don't know how to read, so I listen to audiobooks as well. Sorry.
Well, yeah.
continue.
No, well, it's a lot easier when you can put it at like 1.5 speed and, you finish a book faster. So I get it. So,
good.
so I think for me, I wanted to start something that we can just talk. I feel like you and I are normal people, but I think we've experienced, a decent amount of stuff in our life from different points of view. So I think, we have our raisings, which are somewhat similar, but you
Agreed.
go through different things while you're growing up, right?
Correct.
And I think we have learned, and now that we're in our 30s, we can look at things from a different point of view. And, especially at work,
Agreed.
when I look at, like, when I'm at work, I look at it from a different point of view. So I think for me, being a little bit older, I think maybe something that we say someone might take and might help their life better. That's not my ultimate goal. Obviously, I just want to sit here and talk. I just want to have a conversation with us and, just talk normally. But I think you and I have always had good banter back and forth.
Agreed.
When we worked together, it was probably one of the funnest times in my life.
200% agree.
And I think I would say one thing and you would compliment me well. And you would say something and I would compliment you. And when we work together as a team, I think we do better things. So when when we were thinking about this and thinking about podcasts, you and I just naturally mesh together. Our
Yep.
families mesh together.
Yep.
So why not do something like this?
Agreed.
So,
No.
I mean, you and I can talk all day long. I mean, that's unfortunately we do have the gift of gab,
Yes.
and that's from
Yes.
our past.
Yep.
So we could, talk to anyone. We enjoy talking to people, and I think that's the key thing is, when we're talking about starting a podcast, like that you have to have that skill.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And one of the things that to touch on, what we have going between you and I, the why we wanted to start this podcast, having a positive discussion
Yes.
in a negative world.
Yep. I completely
And
agree.
please don't take that as anybody listening. Oh, he said, the world's so negative. I don't mean that in a derogatory mean by any means, but when it comes to where we're living currently, there's so much
Well,
negativity.
Well, just look at mainstream media. Your mainstream media is so negative because they need ratings.
And that's the unfortunate part.
And that's the thing is, if you looked at the news back in the 90s, early 90s, it wasn't as negative as it is now because they realized if you have higher ratings, you get more money, and it's money driven. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love for this podcast to blow up and make, hundreds
Obviously.
of thousands
Yes.
a year,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's at the same level.
No.
And I think it's completely different.
And that's one of the things that I've kind of thought about, and you and I have gone back and forth with, is we don't want to touch on the negative stuff that's happening. I think that when it comes to looking at YouTube or any type of other platform, when people say, "Hey, what's negative going on in the world that we can talk about?" I don't think that's a way to make money.
No.
I don't think that's a way to drive our brand
Yep.
that we want to portray.
Yep.
It's one of those things that I think we need to talk about real life, day to day stuff.
Absolutely.
What's going on with you, Chris? What's going on with me? What's going on with our family, day to day, whether it be career or hobbies. We don't need to tap into the negativity of everything else going on in the world. There's 400 different talking points that you and I could talk about today.
Absolutely.
But
I mean,
why?
just narrowing down for you and I for our very first episode is difficult, right? I mean, the laundry list of ideas that we have for, topics, we could have picked 40 other topics for today.
Correct. And and I'll kind of give a sneak peek. So we narrowed it down to us, obviously being our first episode, and then what's your favorite truck?
Yeah.
What is your
Simple.
favorite vehicle, truck? We could have talked about so many other things that are going on. I mean, we all have YouTube, we all have social media, and we scroll through all day long. And when it boils down to what do we want to talk about? We talk about us and we talk about a vehicle. That may seem boring, but in all reality, it's real life.
Yeah. Well, and you bring up a good point. You literally, I mean, we talk about going through jumping into the rabbit hole on YouTube.
Yep.
Right. You do the same thing with any platform.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter where you're on, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You go through that rabbit hole, and you see a lot of pictures nowadays or just videos of people on Instagram and that kind of stuff that are so made up. They're so using so many filters and all that. I will promise you right now, we will never use a filter on our Instagram.
Okay.
The only reason why we have an Instagram is because it's probably the best marketing that you can do, right? How do we get our name you can't just solely do it through YouTube anymore.
No.
You need other platforms. So you're going to need a Facebook. Yep. You're going to need an Instagram. But I promise we will never use a filter. And if we do use a filter, call me out on it because I will remove that and put the actual raw footage on there.
Yeah.
Because to me, why wouldn't we show what you can do. I mean, we have done positive, negative things in our lives
Yep.
that we have grown and, I think we live a pretty good life, right?
I agree.
So why not, share that, pass that along, talk about the positivities in
Yep.
life and have fun with it.
You made one comment about we live a pretty good life, and I just want to let everyone know, we're not two, rich guys sitting in a studio.
No, no,
We're two average Joes that work normal jobs,
we're literally sitting in a bedroom right now.
sitting in a bedroom with an elliptical next
Yeah,
to us.
yeah.
But hey, you know what? We'll eventually we'll show the elliptical
Well, and
once
the
we
pack
start
and play
doing
too.
and the pack and play, which is there for my daughter when we do sleepovers over here.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we're two guys trying to bring down to earth reality
yep,
to social media, and I think that's a great branding point.
absolutely. So, I mean, and let's be honest, we don't have the best equipment.
No,
We spent $200 total for all
well,
our
we
equipment.
told our wives it was 100. Now that this is recorded and it's going on social media, they'll find out the truth. But
Oh, I said 2,000.
okay, well, you need to you need to edit that out.
No, I'm joking. And I don't know. I mean, there's kids playing downstairs.
Yep.
There's probably going to be some noise of this going through the speakers. But you know what? I love that.
It's real.
Yep.
It's real life, and we just we want to have a good conversation, banter between two grown adults that are married and have a couple kids, and that's that.
Yeah. Before we go too far, because I need to talk about the name.
Okay.
Because if I don't, I'm gonna get in trouble. So,
Okay.
so the Ultimate Buffet.
Gosh, I love buffets. Mongolian barbecue is one of my favorites.
Oh God, no, why are you talking about food? I'm hungry.
Well,
I'm
sorry.
already hungry again.
And we just had dinner.
Yeah, yeah.
56 minutes ago.
Yeah, yeah. So we, coming up with the idea of doing a podcast, the name is it's so important nowadays.
Well, you've got to make it stick out.
Absolutely. So it's like, how do we make it stick out? And I was talking to my wife, and she was like, we're giving ideas back and forth, and she goes, "What do you think about the buffet?" I go, "I like that. I really do." So I sent you a text message saying, "Hey, what do you think about this?"
Yep.
And you're like, "Yeah, I like it." And of course, I go online and it's taken because we're jumping very late into the podcast game, which, after looking at the buffet, and this isn't a pitch, not it's a good podcast, right? So obviously, I'm not trying to infringe on them or anything like that,
Yeah.
because they're very established and they have good podcasts. So I like the concept. Their concept is very similar. You know what I mean? So it's like, where do we stand out? And so I was thinking, all you can eat buffet, all you can eat.
Okay.
And I don't think I told you this part, but I'm like, oh, let me look that one up. Taken as well. So I'm like, okay, well, we can't do that because
Okay.
that's two.
Yep.
So then I message you. I'm like, I really like the buffet. I know you do, but how do we differentiate ourselves? And you came up with Ultimate, and I'm like, okay, so let's throw that in there. So the Ultimate Buffet kind of appeared, and when I obviously looking up, did not see anyone with the Ultimate Buffet, and I think that was the key. Is I think the goal of this podcast is, like we've said, talk about everything under the sun. One day we're going to talk about food. One day we're going to talk about guns. One day we're going to talk about trucks. One day we're going to talk about family. There's going to be so much that we talk about. We're going to talk about current events because eventually we're going to talk about current events because that's reality, right? But it's everything under the sun, just like a buffet.
Real quick, the talking about current events, I do want to touch on that. I want to make sure that, when it comes to the current events, we don't talk about the negative.
No,
There's
not
so
at
much there's so much negative in regards to the current events. I think that if we were to stick to the positive, even if it's local,
Yeah.
just within Placer County or California or, throughout the United States, but what positive? The mainstream media that you mentioned earlier, they don't talk about the positive.
Not at
They
all.
talk about all the negative because that's what drives ratings.
Yeah. And there's so much positive in life and so much positive going on. Why wouldn't we talk about
Agreed.
it? And
Yep.
and that's the thing. Like we could talk with 40 different things today, but I think this is what we really stuck on, and I think that's a good thing.
No,
So,
I agree. And when it comes to the name The Ultimate Buffet, I think that in regards to buffet, we think of a massive restaurant that has the ultimate buffet.
yeah.
We're going to talk about everything.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what you mentioned, family, guns, trucks, um, the positive of what's going on locally, nationally.
Yeah.
We're going to try our best to incorporate everything.
Yep.
It's
Absolutely.
definitely a ultimate buffet.
Absolutely. So, I think why don't we,
Do you want to hop into our main topic?
well, so this is the question. So, the goal obviously being 20, 30 minutes talking about, we've talked about us. We've talked 30 minutes about us already.
Have we really?
We have. So
Okay.
we're getting into, over in the 30-minute category.
Okay.
Maybe we give a quick example of maybe our dream truck,
Okay.
and then maybe we can get into further discussion, because you and I, we definitely can talk all
Yeah,
day about what.
Another 30 minutes
Yeah.
on one topic.
Yeah.
So, when we decided on what we were going to discuss for this first episode, we mentioned obviously going and discussing, our lives in a little bit of detail, and then in regards to how we came up with the name, and then we wanted one topic that we wanted to discuss, and we said, hey, we both drive a truck. Why don't we talk about trucks?
Yeah.
Now, we're not just going to talk about, your stock vehicle.
No.
Why don't we talk about the dream truck?
Oh gosh.
Okay.
We can do that.
So I'm going to go first. I really, really want a Chevrolet C10.
Okay.
Now, people think, oh, gosh, why would Sean want a Chevy C10? It's, small to medium size vehicle.
Yep.
It's usually a single cab. I know that they, ventured out and did different models and whatnot, but when it comes to that C10, it's straight and to the point.
True.
It's a small to medium size truck.
True.
It's boxy, which some may find ugly. Hey, and you know what? That's all fine. We all have our dream truck, right?
Yeah.
I truly believe that the single cab Chevy C10 with a simple paint job, I would prefer white. I mean, even if you were to give me an old rusted out bucket of a truck, I would drive that thing like it was worth $100,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my dream truck would be a Chevrolet C10. Just simple, straight, boxy, to the point.
And it's funny that you say that, because mine's like the polar opposite. Polar opposite.
Okay, what do you got for me? So we're going 1971 Chevy C10 with a shitty paint job, and yeah, not much going for it. Maybe some tinted windows.
Well,
I would go for the tinted windows, but just straight and stock.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it.
So
All right, hit me.
So for me, growing up, my dream truck for some reason was always going to be a King Ranch edition truck. So not an F-150, but F-250, F-350.
That's a good truck right there.
Always been my dream truck. I think with what I know now, more about trucks and all that, I think my dream truck would be a Ram 3500 Mega Cab with the Cummins diesel. Standard height. I don't need it lifted.
Yeah.
Nothing. I'm already tall enough. I can jump in it. Even if it had a 12-inch lift, I'd probably be fine.
Yeah.
Step.
I mean, being 6'7" and a half plus a couple inches. Yeah.
So I think that I want the size, You can hold everyone in it. You can drive everyone. I think matte black would be amazing, but you still have to have that brown interior, kind of
Mm-hmm.
like the King Ranch
Yep.
Edition
You
interior.
gotta have the peanut butter.
Yeah. So I love that interior, blacked out windows with that matte black look would be amazing.
You know, the sad part is, if we were to go purchase both of these vehicles today, my Chevy C10 would probably be close to, fixed up, the same price as your Ford F-350 King Ranch.
Oh,
Because
probably. Yeah.
because that Chevy C10, it's so desirable, and it's got a tenth of the stuff that your Ford F-350 has.
Well, just look at trucks in general right now. The price has skyrocketed.
Astronomical.
Yeah. So, I mean, and with gas prices as high as they are, that's surprising that it's even hard to find a truck.
Yeah, that's a true statement. I definitely try to drive my truck as least as possible due to gas prices these days. But
Yep.
you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Got to get the kids to soccer practice.
Yeah. You got to get them somewhere.
Okay.
So, I think, one, we both want to say thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. If you did listen to this whole entire podcast, we appreciate it. We do apologize going over 30 minutes. Sometimes we're going to do that. I'll be honest with you. Once we start talking, we might not stop. So I think, thank you for that. Again, thank you to our families
Yep.
for letting us do that.
Definitely.
Thank you again if you hear children playing in the background.
Yeah, because I mean, no matter how good we get at this, whether it be audio, video, and or both, unless we're out of this studio that we've got going here,
Yeah.
you will definitely
Let's be
hear
honest. Even if we
trucks.
made millions and we had our own separate studio, we probably still have our kids running around.
They will always be running around.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said, we want to try to keep it as real as possible. So I think, having the kids in the background, that's not a bad thing.
Not at all. Not at all. So,
Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you for everyone listening. Why don't you go and hit us with that outro?
well, one last cheers.
One last cheers.
Then the outro.
And the outro.